Hello guys, how you doing? This is Chef Sean Hassan of Food and Medicine, and today we're going to talk about fermentation. I know what we're saying, like, what is fermentation? For those of you who may know, those of you that don't know, fermentation is an age-old practice that was used to actually preserve food, but one of the health benefits of it, it actually helps your gut microbiome, right? So one of the things that we know that helps with your gut microbiome is yogurt. Some people are like, ew, I can't stand yogurt. Well, how many of us eat a gyro, or as we like to affectionately call it, a gyro? You know that tzatziki sauce? Yogurt. You know, listen man, it's a lot of stuff that we eat that we don't know that we're eating that's actually really good for us. So when we ask for that extra white sauce, is what some people call it, you're eating more yogurt. So it actually helps with your digestive tract, all right? So one of the things I like to do is I like to get plain yogurt and doctor it up. As opposed to buying those sugar-filled yogurts that already has the fruit in it, that's been cooked down, there's no nutritional value, and there's a ton of added sugar, you can actually add your own fruit to this. And you can do a simple maceration process, which means that you can add a little lemon juice to, let's say, your strawberries, and a little bit of sugar, and it's controllable amounts of sugar, and then you can actually add that to your yogurt, and now you have a better version of the yogurt you would buy from the store, all right? And let's say you can't get past yogurt, then you have something like this here, Kefir, which is a great probiotic. But also when it comes to certain brands, you may want to look at the sugar content in those brands as well. Some of them could be a high sugar. Anything over 20% can become problematic. So you want to be mindful of that. This may taste like a milkshake, but we don't want the milkshake calories. We want something that's going to help us long term, all right? And here, right? So we always say, hey, get a hot dog. We go to New York, we hit Yankee Stadium. What are we gonna do? We're gonna get us a hot dog. I want sauerkraut and mustard. Here you go. This is great, right? So let's just say if I wanted to make some, how easy this could be. All right, I'm just gonna give you a quick demonstration. We're not gonna be here long. We're here for a good time, not a long time, all right? All right, I'm gonna cut a little piece of that off. All right, and I'm just gonna chop this up. All right, and I'm not gonna cut the whole thing up. I just wanna give you a quick example of how we do this, right? So I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna add this to this bowl. All right? Boom, and then I'm gonna cover it with salt. Be pretty generous with my salt here, because what that's gonna do is gonna draw out the moisture first, and then about a week later, it's gonna, it's gonna start fermenting. And then what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna put something on top here to add pressure to it, all right? So we can continue to just push out the moisture. And then we're gonna sit this to the side, and then in about a week or two, this is what you have. Now, listen to me carefully. If you have if you're on a low salt diet, have high blood pressure, anything like that, this may not be your food of choice. This may not be something you wanna eat regularly. In moderation, yeah, you're at Yankee Stadium, you got a hot dog, you want sauerkraut, eat it there, that's it, all right? Don't bring it home and say, hey, you know what, I want another hot dog with sauerkraut. We don't want to do that. And here we have, which has become a real big favorite to people over the last 10 years, kombucha. This is a nice fermented drink. And one of the great things about kombucha is that you can actually make it at home with your fruit peels. So one of the things I do is I make this thing called a tepache, which is a fermented Mexican drink, and I take my pineapple skins and to put it in a big jug, and I add some cloves, I add a little cinnamon, I may take some orange peel as well and add it to it, and you cover it with brown sugar, and you sit it in a jug, with a cheesecloth, covered with a cheesecloth, and you sit it in that jug, and you let it sit and ferment for about 5 days. What happens is the bacteria start eating the sugar. All right? It's like watching Pac-Man. It start eating. You start to see it bubbling up on top. All right? And when you start to see that happening, start getting nice and foamy, that means that it's going through a fermentation process at that point in time. So you want to take that out. You want to put it in another container, and there you have it. You can actually drink that at your leisure. In some small, especially in some of the Pangea countries, that would be Africa and South America, it is still a big favorite in those continents. So it's something that you can make at home, but if you don't, most of us ain't got that kind of time. Shortcut it, go to the store, find your good kombucha, low sugar content, and a nice flavor and help get your gut health right. All right? So It's quite a few different things that you can do when it comes to fermentation. There's a lot of things that you eat that are fermented and or drink that are fermented that you may not be aware of. So do your research around it, find what works for you, but the main thing that we want you to do is have a healthy gut. Because when you have good gut bacteria, everything else works better. Your body absorbs nutrients better, you become more regular, so you're a bit brighter, you actually see your skin glow a little bit more. So I like fermented foods, and I try to do my best with eating. The best things I possibly can eat, and I try to eat as many vegetables as I possibly can, and if they're going bad, I find a way to utilize them. All right, so we want to have limited waste, and we want to have fun with our food. But again, these are just a few of those options. So when you're thinking about food, do not discard the thought of fermentation. Just think about that, have it sit with you, and think about some of these things that I brought to you today. All right, this is Chef Sean Hassan, and this is Food is Medicine.